So start with your name and where you're from, and if you'd like your age.
Okay, my name is George Casper, from a long line of George Caspers. Our family has no innovations about names. I'm 80 years old, born on a farm in Ohio. I live in Boston, Dorchester, and love it.
When did you come to Boston?
Well, I came to Cambridge for graduate work in 1951. Lived with my wife and children in Worcester in the center of the state until 1975. She divorced me. It's a difficult life living with a gay man. I had told her ahead of time I was gay. So then I moved back to Boston as a single man in 1978 and loved it.
So you have some stories about crime?
Well, yeah. I lived my whole life out in a way, like I didn't lie to anybody. If they asked me a direct question, I gave them a true answer. But it was sort of a don't ask, don't tell business. I mean, I didn't mind if they asked, but I didn't tell. I didn't volunteer. And then after I came to Boston, I got active in Integrity, which is the Gay and Lesbian Caucus in the Episcopal Church. And the Canadian Church and the Australian Church are also part of this organization. I got elected as International Treasurer about in 78, I guess. But I was active in this group. Well, around 76 or 77, and I was already coming to meetings, commuting from Worcester then, there was all this Anita Bryant stuff. And I got all stirred up about that. Well, I got a march. But I was scared shitless. I wore sunglasses, I wore a hat, and I imported a lesbian from New York City and walked hand in hand with her. Can you believe it? The next year I shed the lesbian. The next year I shed the eyeglasses. The next year I shed the hat, and boom.
That's fantastic. So do you go to Pride every year?
Yeah. I think since the first one I went to was 77, and I think I've only missed one or two in the years since. So, yeah.
So
I was in one year I went to the New York Gay Pride Parade with a group. I was part of the Boston chapter, Black and White Men Together, and that was nice. I couldn't walk that distance, and so they put me and another guy in the back of a pickup truck that was all decorated with zebra stripes for the black and white, you know. He was black, he had one corner of the truck. I was white, I had the other corner. I got off on waving to the crowds and all that. It was wonderful. My sister and brother-in-law and parents saw me on television, rounding the corner or starting down Fifth Avenue. And my mother said, "That man looks like George." That couldn't be. My sister and my brother-in-law had to go running from the room. They were laughing so hard. So those are my gay pride stories.
those are great stories. So do you think it's changed, or how has it changed?
Well, because the whole country, the whole world has changed. The people in my generation did a lot of hiding and marrying and all that kind of stuff. And nowadays, well, people your age, they don't do that because you don't need to anymore. We don't have a chapter of Integrity in Boston anymore because we don't need to. I mean, we're part of the city now. We not have to go off and we met in this same room way back then, 70s. Every Sunday evening, I guess it was.
So it's room as a history in itself.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's terrific. Did you have anything else to add? Anything else you wanted to say?
I'm sorry my husband isn't here with me today, but he's in Washington, D.C. at a AIDS prevention conference. So,
Thank you very much. Yeah, that was fantastic.
it's a pleasure.
Thank you. Great.
What will you do with these